to Straight For You, where we're giving you straightforward dialogue with an open mind. I am your host, Ms. Black Diamond, with the intellectual co-host.
And don't forget, good looking. The Ruthless BK. Yeah. Just in case. This is not all camera. It's really me.
It is.
No Botox, no nothing. It's all me.
We don't need it.
Okay.
We don't need it. These high cheekbones, it's all natural.
There you go. You ain't had your cheeks rotated.
No.
None of that. Good.
I ain't trying to get cut on like that.
I hear you.
I'm not knocking anybody who does it.
No, we ain't knocking no nip tuck, But
at the end of the day, what's good with you, BK?
Like I said, just out here hustling. Every day.
All right. That's
every
what
day.
We do.
In one way or another, you gotta hustle.
Yes.
So make sure y'all have y'all hustle game on point, so y'all can get and reap the spoils that life has to offer.
All right now.
Okay.
You better let them know, teach them.
So I'm trying to lay this knowledge, but y'all don't hear me though.
Some people don't want to get in bed with it.
That's how it happens.
Right.
So just keep the covers rolled up.
Hey.
What's going on with you?
Just out here hustling too. At the end of the day, that's what we do. That's what we're about. We're trying to get it in a positive form. So in the meantime, between time, it's just the average day for me. I'm just trying to get through and get ahead. That's what we do. We get ahead
and stay ahead once we're there.
Yes.
We don't want to fall back.
Definitely don't want to do that. You see my eyes, but definitely don't want to do that, because the struggle will be realer. Okay?
Yeah.
When you go behind on some stuff, God knows. And then the tactics of this is when your mathematical skills kick in and your tactical skills kick in, because you're gonna have to rearrange and do some things in order to make things
what's necessary and what is not.
Come on now.
Okay.
In the meantime, between time, let's get into this topic.
That's what we hit. We hitting them right on over the head right now.
Yes.
Diving in.
Today's Straight For You topic is verbal versus physical abuse. Which is worse? Verbal versus physical. Okay, so we on the heavy end today.
We on the heavy end.
Yeah. So what you feel like?
First of all, I think we can both attest. Neither one is good.
No. let's
begin it with that.
Yes,
we don't advocate for neither one.
Get the physical or the verbal, but it happens throughout time. So
True.
And you do have people that experience these things, and I'm for sure some way in some form. We have experienced something within life.
Yeah.
So let's get into what you feel.
I feel from my point and perspective, I feel physical.
Okay.
Is the worser.
Okay.
Is the more of the evil.
Okay.
Just with physical, it's unpredictable. It is no point that somebody can't go with physical. If someone's hitting on you or anything, that stuff can go to a point that you don't even want it to go to.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not advocating for violence by any means. I understand that some people can get on your nerves so bad that a little, choking or shaking up or a little pop upside the head to bring them back into reality, to let them know you ain't that one to test. But it can go overboard. And I think just for me in that aspect, if I ever had to be faced with that situation, it's better to remove yourself before it gets too bad, because I know too many people who've experienced that, and it's went far worse left, to the point where people have ended up in the hospital, in jail, and results of death.
Yes.
And people didn't mean to go that far with it. Yes. But that abuse, something happens and that's it.
Yes, it's a tough subject to talk about. I more so lean towards the verbal, because yes, the physical is hard to endure. Anything is hard to endure when it comes to abuse, but the physical leaves a everlasting stain within the mind.
You mean the verbal?
Yes, the verbal.
Okay,
the verbal leaves an everlasting impression in the mind versus the physical. Yes, you can see it, but that mental status of lack of self-worth, lack of understanding as to why you are treated this way, in the idealistic of once the physical has ended and you went past and moved, progressed in life, you still have reflections on what you received throughout that time, because as they say, sometimes the pen is stronger than the sword.
The pen is mightier than the sword. If you know how to use it.
Sometimes that verbal connection with a person can kill a person quicker, because it can lower their self-esteem to feel like they're not even worthy of being here anymore.
Yeah, I get with suicides are at almost an all-time high. It's higher than homicides in America.
Yeah.
So it's one of the leading causes of death in America for suicides.
Yeah.
So
and we're not just. I don't want them to feel like we're not tapping in just the older portions of abuse. It can veer from the younger all the way up.
Yeah.
Because you do have kids that experience these things.
Yeah, and then they grow up to be physically or verbally abusive as well.
Even if they make it. To be honest, because it gets to the point
it could happen to them as well too.
They can't survive the traumatic experience either way.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough field to be in when you see certain things happen. And again, I know throughout time we all have encountered some type of physical, if not verbal, abuse. I must admit I had some verbal throughout my time. And it's not a pleasing thing. I'm blessed that it didn't go to a higher end because you got levels to the shit.
Yes, you do.
You definitely got levels to the shit.
Stages.
But at the end of the day, I was blessed to kind of be in a state of mind that I've grown to know my self-worth as I got older.
Mm-hmm.
I questioned my self-worth growing up. I didn't have no lack of self-worth. I just questioned it due to certain behaviors throughout my period of growing to be a woman.
Get it. And I get verbal definitely has that mental abuse toward people, but I think the reason I chose physical, because I'm going to take it a step as to why I chose physical versus verbal. The reason I chose physical is because with verbal, I feel like you can strengthen yourself. You can strengthen yourself mentally. You can block that out to not let those words hinder you.
Can you? Not everybody.
I feel you can. Not everybody can. That's why I say I feel.
You gotta.
That's what I'm saying. I feel you can strengthen yourself to that.
That's facts.
With the physical abuse, it's not many people out there that can physically
heal themselves
from an ass whooping. I mean, you can prepare yourself to not take an ass whooping, but there's no blockage from that physical abuse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really not, you're getting it, and the only way to disdain from that is to leave and get out of that situation.
It does leave physical scars.
And it can kill you.
Yes.
You can truly be hurt to the point where someone, I hate to use an analogy, may lose an eye, or it's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
Yeah.
Hurt, broken arms, broken cheeks, jaw, internal bleeding, like you said. It's so much stuff that can happen with the physical that you can't prepare and train your body to take.
And it's not just like attack physical, because you got sexual physical abuse too.
Exactly.
Because again,
that's a good point.
Be realistic, because you got young people getting older experiences.
Yeah.
That didn't ask for that. Then there are innocents in the situation.
And can take physical while they're getting sexually abused. So physical abuse on top of sexual abuse.
Yeah.
And on top of verbal, you can get a combination of all three.
Yeah, because that is physical. When you get to sexual, that's still in the category of physical abuse.
Yeah.
It's just on the sexual aspects of it. And we need to talk about topics like this in order to get the understanding that, some people have friends and family members that are predators and that want to sweep it under the rug because, again, they don't want to be associated with that particular individual. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the only time it touch base is when they attack a loved one in their nucleus, and that's a sad situation because you knew that person was like that, but yet you still had them at the family functions, and all because they're a relative. But you just make sure you keep your kids away from them.
Yeah. Where them kids at?
Yeah.
They were Johnny.
No,
kids.
No, why Johnny here? Nobody asked that question. Why Johnny here for us to be so fearful to watch so hard?
Yeah,
and I think if those particular individuals were shunned more within the community,
it wouldn't have those effects.
Because it might change the dynamics of things if we, as a unit, really address these predators the way we should address it. Like, again, back in the day, certain behavior wasn't
wasn't tolerated.
Either we find out and it's gonna be consequences and repercussions. But everybody, in a sense, over time has gotten so lax with certain behaviors and activities. It's like a fend for all, just fend for yourself. You got people, again, I have to cater to the youth because the youth is gonna take care of us. So at the end of the day, why are you not watching out knowing that this predator is around? Why you just, it's none of my business. I saw a video which stood ground because, it's a lot of trafficking going around.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, she had this little girl in front of her. She was selling her some ice cream, this, that, and the other. And she just noticed that this guy was right beside, didn't even know the girl. Why would a grown man cater to a little girl that he don't know? But anyway, at the end of the day, it was a vehicle in the street with the door open. Or whatever, and the girl got her product about to walk past, because children don't pay attention, walk past the vehicle while the guy was standing like on the other side of the vehicle.
Okay.
Not the other side of the vehicle, but heading towards the vehicle so he can push her in good enough, but the woman caught it right on time and rushed over there and grabbed the girl by the arm and walked
come on with me.
Because the guy was going to react that time he had to play it off and just shut the door and get on the other side. You can see on the video him looking back, he was not happy about the situation. But again, that's a prime example of me going back, of you looking out for your people.
That's true too.
Look out for, and not just your people, just the youth and certain individuals. If you see something ain't right, something looks suspicious.
Agree. In
my Cardi B voice, that's suspicious. But if it looks suspicious, we also, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to do nothing. I mentioned on one episode about that lady getting raped in the subway train, and nobody ain't do nothing. They just sat there while this woman got harassed to the point that she got sexually assaulted right in front of them, and all they did was break out their phone and record.
Now, I've seen other incidents where there's people who've been tripping on that subway with some women, and some dudes did step up and turn that guy up and threw him off the train.
And that's what
so we need to do more of that, is what you're saying. There are aspects. There is a little hope in humanity.
Yes.
But we got to make sure we doing our part. And when you see something wrong, say something, do something. Don't just break them phones out.
And that's the society where we're in. They want to get a like. They want to go viral for their video.
Yeah.
Instead of going viral of, somebody always going to break out their phone, but be that person, that little hero of saying something.
Yeah.
And it's the simple fact. The dude probably could have, say for instance, another female stepped up to that female. And it could have been like a situation where they both got hurt, but at least he got a battle 2 versus 1. Possibly 3 versus 1.
True.
Somebody needed to step up to the plate of, you're not saying you had to be a hero, be humane. Be humane.
Now, here's a little thing that I want to do with the show. Can you speak on maybe a time where you did receive some verbal abuse?
Oh, yes. Because you could say when you're young back in the day when you are seen and not heard. And the typical things. So when you do something out the way, you might say, luckily I haven't had major, but I've seen it within my family with other members.
Mm-hmm.
They do something out the way. What the fuck you do that for? You little this, that, and other. And that is a form of verbal abuse. But I had to take it back to maybe they received it and they think it's normal. Back in the day, we were taught culture-wise, like, to be seen, not heard. Yes.
You got it right, yeah.
Yes,
You got it right.
And when you are in a position of giving your thoughts, because children are unfiltered, just like adults. I say, if you want to hear the truth, ask a child. Or ask an elder.
Elderly person.
They don't give a fuck at that time.
They do not censor nothing. They don't care about your feelings. They're going to tell you flat out.
And also, too, at the time, you saying all your business and airing out your dirt in front of your kids, again, they're going to say something about it. They are little sponges. So I say around that time, and also too, I had a situation where I felt like my opinion wasn't strong enough for that individual to listen to, and they talked about certain things that bother my spirit, like in a sense about my look, and then try to sugarcoat it. Well, I ain't mean it like that, but you said it, or you acting like you, in a sense, are incapable of knowledge. I can't think of everything verbatim what they said, but they did make me feel lower than what I should have felt.
I understand.
As a female handling my business, and to be honest, my position was in a more so upper tier than theirs, but due to my love for them, they made me feel lower than them.
Yeah.
And that can happen. You get with I'm not going to say that it's a man or a woman thing. It's a person that has good intentions, very genuine in their approach in their life, and then they connect with this person that has a little bit of chaos and confusion. In order to make them feel good, they tear the good person down. And that's a sad situation because they're hurt. And then I've had situations where I had to tap into, like, why are you like this? And then they shut it down like, no, that's just the norm. You the one acting too sensitive. Why am I considered too sensitive for something that you're doing in the first place hurting me?
In the matter of that, sometimes there are things that you have to say that does hurt somebody, but it brings a certain, I want to say, feeling or something in order for them to change. Mm-hmm. So it's like if somebody's doing something wrong, you have to come out and tell them, hey, you're doing this wrong. Yes. It may hurt their feelings because they've been thinking that they're doing it right all this time, and it may, and let's say for the simple fact, I'm going to use the example of the hibbity-dibbity, but, somebody may be thinking they're good at something. Mm-hmm. If you tell them this is not good for me, or it's not good, but it's going to hurt their feelings.
That's a difference between teaching versus tearing somebody down to make you feel like you superior.
But some people cross that sometimes, and I'm just speaking for the people who may cross hurting somebody as a thing of verbally abusing them. So if you're telling somebody you're being real with it, like we can be sometimes unfiltered, like elderly or children, sometimes they come out unfiltered and say, no, you're not good with it.
I'm not talking more so the activities. It can go by the look of a person. If you didn't like that look of a person, why did you connect with them? As far as like, you cool, but that could be better. But I got skinny fingers. Oh, but you good, but your fingers look so like this, that, and the other. I'm like,
some people see potential in people, not with the fingers. Yeah, your first example was, you cool, but if you change, if you did this a little bit better, you'd be off the chain.
No, see how you said it in a motivating and inspiring type of way. No, to tell you, I'm talking about the people that tear you down.
Yeah, but some people feel even me saying that could be turned down.
Let down, like in
some
a sense,
people feel. I'm not even gonna lie. Some people feel that is a turn down, or you're mean, or you're insensitive by saying that.
It's like a double-edged sword when it comes to emotional, physical. Verbal wise, as far as like the connection of how they were raised, and I'm all about conversations of like previous activities before they became adults. Mm-hmm. Because everybody has their waves of something before becoming adult. At the end of the day, my discomfort for that individual, I knew they were bringing me down, tearing me down. It wasn't to build me up.
It wasn't to be.
I knew. You know, and then want to sugarcoat it once they saw I was hurt. Well, I didn't mean it like that. No, you meant it like that. And then they want to use jokes. Those people that want to use sense of humor as a way of lightening the situation. They say sometimes the truth is in humor.
Yes, you know, it's about 65% truth. And the rest is
the joke within
itself. Is the joke.
So at the end of the day, to the physical part, hell no, I don't want to get hit. I don't want to do none of that shit. Yeah. At the end of the day, and my personality is once you lay your hand on me, it's a wrap. You know, but that's just me. But some people forgive.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been forgiven.
Okay.
I actually had a situation. I'm gonna speak on it.
Okay,
not in the proudest of moments, but I was dealing with somebody at the time. At the time, it was my birthday. I'll go ahead and kind of give you a scenario for it. At the time, it was my birthday, and a lot of things were going on. Little intoxication, maybe a whole lot of intoxication, but we were walking, and you know, sometimes your significant other just has that ability to just poke you, and it's that right area that you don't like. You know,
I was gonna do something funny when you poked me, but I say this is serious. No, I'm gonna be the Pillsbury. Go ahead.
So they just know the buttons to push to get a reaction.
Tap on that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Button pushers.
Button pushers.
Come on now,
because they know those buttons to push to get that reaction out of you. And this situation, this person was doing that. We're on the way after a nice party. We had drinks and everything like that. We're on the way to a concert. And we got to be there for a certain time to get the concert. And they just didn't, I don't know if they didn't want to go to the concert or whatever like that, was just tired, whatever, just kept doing stuff. And I'm like, come on, you know I'm trying to get to this concert. Will you come on? And you walking slow and you stopping and stuff like that. And at the time, it just really was annoying me.
Yeah.
And then I turned around, she just kept doing it, turned around, and it was, it wasn't slap your mama type of slap, but it was, hey, a little pop on the cheek, like, hey, what do you, stop that. And it was like,
ooh.
She was like, I can't believe you just did that. I couldn't believe I did it.
It was a reaction.
It was a reaction. It was a reflex.
How did you feel when you did it?
I was really sorry because I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. But it was like, I think we both, like, she stopped, I stopped. I was like, oh shit. But I was like, I apologize. I'm like, come on, because you are doing something intentional to get a reaction out of me. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse, but these type of things do happen.
People do test you.
It's a test.
It's
a test, man. I was like, I know people who've done worse than that.
Yeah.
And I know there's been times where I wanted to, choke a few people or whatever till the police come and you let them go. But it's those people who push your buttons.
Yeah.
And, when it gets to that point, then sometimes it's better for you to back off. And just, you know what, because you're going to end up having me catch a case or something like that, or put me in a position that I don't want to be in long term. So
and that's unfortunate that happened, but it is fortunate that you did feel some sort of way to the reaction of what you did, and it hinders you from future situations of that, because again, at the end of the day, some people get that first initial feel of it and continuously thinking that, since you reacted this way, with
I can continue to keep doing it.
With this slap, and that's the only way I'm going to get you to listen if I put my hands on.
I pop you.
Yeah, and that's when we come into the situation where it's just going to be worse as time progresses. Because that slap can turn into the
next one is going to be a push. The next one is going to be a grab and a shake. And then the next thing you know, you're choking and punching.
That's why I asked you the question, how did you feel once you did it, once it happened? Because at the end of the day, you having sympathy on your actions and how you saw her face and this, that, and the other is going to prevent you from doing it again.
Yeah.
So, and that's the stability in your mind, what's right and what's wrong. Because again, a child, again, we're not children. We should be on a higher level of children as we progress. That's a child's reaction. Because think about children when they get mad. No, think about it. When they get mad.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm going to let you finish it. I wouldn't say that's a child reaction.
You know, stop. Like, because me, I did a push situation. Like, stop. No, that's what I'm saying. As far as, like, I'm not calling you a child.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm not calling you a child.
I do that.
As far as kids, because I deal with kids. And that's why I'm giving that scenario. Because of my stance of when they get mad, they automatically want to hit something or do something, and then it takes the adults to tell them, no, you don't do that. That's what I'm saying. As far as that aspect, I'm not calling it a childish move. Okay. I'm saying the reaction of how you did it, because you're like,
I'm like, hey, I want you to listen to me. I want to catch your attention and make you realize.
That's all I'm saying.
Stop this stuff that you're doing this intentionally. Yes. It wasn't like we were just walking and all of a sudden I just like, hey, pow,
That's an abuser.
I was like, hey, I know you're doing this like intentionally.
Yeah, that's why I kind of leaned your behavior towards that level of what it was, because you got the abuser. You are not an abuser to the point that when you get mad, you just automatically
strike.
Yes, like bitch. No,
I'm not that way, y'all.
Yeah, to me, I put it in that category because again, I've seen, because of what I do for a living, that's what they do when they're not. When they get to a level of frustration. Yeah. So I'm not commending what you did, but at the end of the day, I respect you for,
I appreciate that. I just wanted to share that with the straight friends and fans.
Yeah, and it's good that you opening it up, and I appreciate that, Yeah.
Because, a lot of times there's some people out there that can talk some shit now, and folks just be
That's what we're going to tack on pictures later, but at the end of the day, we're going to have to give our straight for you perspectives, the opportunity to say what they say, and that's when we give one male and one female that opportunity. So, if you give me heads again, child...
Let me try one more time. Let me see. That was a good one.
Few episodes been head.
It's a double side coin. The spirits must be saying. The spirits must be saying men go first, because that was two heads.
Yes, because if y'all looked at previous episodes, this man flipped some coins and it's always.
I'm trying to give it a chance.
It's all good. You want to say the ladies for last? It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, today's male perspective is Patrick.
What up, Patrick? Salute. He's straight for you. They coming out.
They ain't putting their names kind of sort of out there. I respect it. Patrick said no abuse is acceptable.
That's what we said.
To tear a person down physically is worse. Some bones don't ever heal. Again, Patrick stated that no abuse is acceptable. To tear a person down physically is worse.
Yes, physically.
Some bones don't ever heal.
Correct. That's what I
say. So shout out to Patrick. Here he comes with the dog. But at the end of the day, he tapped into what you're saying, that the physical is he feels and deems worse. And I think more so that leans towards the man's perspective, because of the strength that you do have and how you can really put some damage on a person, compared to a female's point of view. I'm not saying all that the mental effects, because after the abuse, you have to cater to that individual, be there for that individual, and if you got to walk on a certain amount of eggshells around that individual in order to survive.
And that's still the same even after they whoop your ass. Yes. You still got to go back and cater to them.
Exactly.
And who wants to cater to somebody who wants they to whoop their ass?
And I'm like,
you see, and what's love got to do with it? After I told Tina, she ran across the street to the next hotel.
I'm not condoning this, but I'm just saying, my issue is how you feel like you're gonna beat my ass. And expect me to go in the kitchen and cook you something. Expect to go to sleep next to me while you just got through doing what you did to me. You don't know all the dark shit that is popping in my brain against you.
That's part of that male ego. You know, ain't nothing you can do can hurt me type of thing.
That's in the case, that's a oh really situation.
Yeah,
oh really?
Pretty much.
Because again, they tend to.
Or if she tries something and it doesn't succeed, that's gonna be her ass, Mr. Postman.
But that's the thing. She has to plot for it to succeed.
Plans can go wrong.
Yeah, plans can go wrong, but I'm not condoning all this, but I'm just saying out of fear, this is for the attacker and the victim,
mm-hmm.
you know, because again, at the end of the day, the attacker, I'm like, how bold of you to be so cocky with your shit that you can tell a person to go in that kitchen and do what they do and lay next to that person like, I know they ain't gonna do no damage to me.
Because it's based off fear.
Yeah, and that's the thing, they do.
You know, it's almost kind of like kings over their kingdom. They want their people. Sometimes they ask, do you want people to fear you or respect you?
And
a lot of people lean towards fear because you have a certain amount of control.
And that's a good example because with kingdoms, you got this raggedy ass king and queen doing all this the most.
Why they got to be raggedy?
Because they raggedy. And then you know, the people are hungry, they starving, they doing all this, but yet they still cater to this king and queen. It's more of them than it's two of them. A whole lot of
her candy examples.
You know I gotta have the
candy examples.
Two versus all these people. You don't think they're gonna just take control and have situations when I don't understand governments like that sometimes. When we kind of in a government like this now, you know, at the end of the day, we are the people, but yet.
But we fall in line because there was one line in the movie that the person said that, you know, people shouldn't fear the government. The government should fear the people.
And that's because we pay the government.
Yeah, exactly.
But and a lot of people don't understand that. Just like our episode about lack of black support. Imagine if our black dollars stop. This world, I feel it. This world will go into some serious problems. Yeah. If the black dollar stop giving support to other cultures. I don't care how bold they may feel. We the one that really spend the money.
And just imagine how powerful we could be on jobs and things if we all band together and say, hey, we ain't coming in today if y'all don't want to do right. Y'all figure it out.
But that's where the fear kicks in.
But that's what the jobs even do.
They almost choking, dog.
I hope not.
And then you wasn't going to say
not on camera because I was in thought. I was
like, wait a minute.
How dare you cough and choke while I'm dropping knowledge?
I felt the physical abuse kicking in about us.
That was verbal. I did that verbal.
I was still stuck on what you said about the slap. I was like, wait a minute.
I don't want to lie. Hey, listen to me now. Okay? We're gonna have to bring this back on part two because we gotta make sure she's not choking.
Yeah, it's like I saved myself.
Barely,
but I saved myself. Yes, I was like, this is why we
down that wrong pipe.
This is why we have fun because you said something that made me try to verbally kill me. But anyway, back to what we said. Let's point this.
We're going to come back for part two after
that. Because we need a moment, y'all. So it's that time where we give our sponsor, a Straight For You sponsor highlights, y'all. You know we a mess. That's why you love us. See you soon. Peace. school, we giving straightforward dialogue with an open mind because he was about to slap my ass when I was coughing. I'm your host that's still living, Black Diamond, Ms. Black Diamond.
Ms.
Okay, because you got me. I saw that hand. I got a little fearful. Along with my co-host,
the ruthless BK.
They're gonna think you ruthless for real. Real backsnap.
Say something, man.
Yeah, for real. Cough again. Choke again. No, you have to catch the first episode if you haven't for that one. But anyway, today's topic is verbal versus physical abuse, which is worse. You know, so we tapped in some things and we had a perspective, which was a male, Mr. Patrick, that said no abuse is acceptable, but he leaned towards the physical.
With me, with Team Physical over here. Yeah, I just feel, I understand Patrick and in his comment, what he says, some bones do not heal, you know, and some scars are forever, but at the same time, too, that's mentally, too. That you have some mental scars that don't heal. Because I still remember some things my parents said to me that mentally got me jacked up. But it's also some whoopings that I ain't forgot either. And
luckily,
you know,
I wasn't in that category. But I did see some family members that get their ass told.
I'm telling you, so it's both. So, you know, neither one is good.
Yeah.
But, you know, physical wise, those are the ones that can really take a toll on the person's body, as well as their mental, as well as, in the end, death.
And I think due to the experience of sometimes, majority of the time actually, the experience of what they went through in their younger years affect their older.
That too.
And you got the ones that think it's the norm to be abused, you know, because that's all their life. They saw it in their family, like, yo, this is the norm. Talking crazy to another
it gets imprinted on them.
And we definitely had pinpointed a situation with the ones that the antagonizers that, you know, want to poke that bear 24/7, you know, and women are known for, I ain't gonna even front, and I am a whole woman, are known for being antagonizers. Mm-hmm. You know, due to the fact, you know, in a sense, this man won't up and real slap you like this man would. And yeah, church for that situation. But anyway, we have to make highlights and jokes of this situation. Even though it's not funny, but we still need to laugh. Because at the end of the day, you do have those women that do be just keep poking, and know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, but they want the reaction or feel like I don't even know how they feel at that moment in time to want somebody to actually blaze on their behind.
And two, they're asking for the physical.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand the ones that want them to blaze on them. Like, in a sense, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And be the choice, like a little chihuahua, be in the tall man's face, poking, doing all this crazy stuff. And I'd be like, do you see the size of his hand? Do you see when he makes a fist, what that gonna do?
That open hand slap.
And at the end of the day, you got those men also too that feel like due to their masculinity that they have the right to do what they want to do towards a female or whatever.
And then we have those females that take for granted the man's character, that he is not going to touch them, and they hit and slap and scratch all up on him, and he doesn't do anything, and they know he's not going to do anything.
And let's tap in the same sex abuse. They get it too, you know, people, lesbians getting it with each other, and gays getting it with each other, and it's abuse can be an all around situation, and no one really deserves to be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be verbal or physical. If you know for a fact you are pushing that person's button, why would you do that? And then want to play the victim when they react.
Exactly.
You know, because after a while, a sleeping bear will wake up.
It will wake up and swat your ass.
Yes. Sleeping bear. But anyway. But yes, but at the end of the day, all jokes aside, you know, this is not a game to be played.
Yeah.
Especially with the mental of individuals. This is why we had the TV shows such as Snap. You know, and
why women watch that ID channel.
Come on now. You know, they thinking like, oh, this person crazy. No, we actually studying for science what to look for.
Exactly.
You know, to be honest, with those particular shows, you have to, because you don't experience it, never know, it may come your way one day. Exactly. And then you can see what the red flags look like due to these other individuals' experiences. And again, at the end of the day, it's not a woman always receiving abuse. Men receive it too.
Yeah.
You know, and get shunned like, man, you just soft. She just giving you love taps. No, that chick is beating his ass.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, and he's trying to be a man and not use his strength against her. And she's using it as a form of control. Because one good hit from a man, you know he going down. Versus if a woman, you know, kind of get in that ass, unless, you know, not saying that she won't go down too, but it's not on the same level as a man.
But yeah, the outcome of that, why would you want to engage in that? Because at the end of the day, you may provide some scratches or something as far as inflicting pain to that person, but his damage on you is going to be ultimately 10 times worse.
Unless it's a scenario where you got some thick women and some small guys.
Yeah.
And they get told to fuck up. Yeah. You know, and I have to give our aspects, because we can't be one-sided on Straight for You and call ourselves, because you do have frailer guys. Or if they don't even have to be frail, they just mentally frail and just take it.
So you're weak. Mentally weak.
I hate to use that, because for a guy receiving it, it's an ultimate insult to say that you're weak-minded. And a lot of women, in a sense, use that as a tool. If you heard a woman say you weak-minded, that's going to tap into your ego and your psyche.
Absolutely.
And I know that for a fact. That's just like a man saying that you're not beautiful, you're not capable, you're this, that, and the other. Women have the verbiage to tear a man down also.
Yeah.
And expect them to be okay with it. And that's not right. And especially in our culture, we tear and build up instead of just constantly just building up. You know.
Now here's one thing, because women also have the ability to tear other women down.
Of course.
So
yes, I ain't gonna lie.
So when certain women who are friends, they call each other bitch, it's cool. Then when a guy verbally actually calls you a bitch, now you're like, hold on, wait a minute.
Okay, let's break down this bitch situation. Bitch, girl, you know that's my bitch. This bitch, you better stop. You hear the different language, like bitch, suck this dick. You know, bitch, who the fuck you think this is? You hear the different tones in the word, bitch. There's different, like, niggas.
So we should be like,
no,
bitch,
for real, bitch, you better
so that's acceptable. That's what we got to do.
If you want to use the word bitch, what about the word nigga? That's my nigga.
Yeah.
So
you're saying the difference of terms when my nigga, and then when a white person uses it, it's nigga.
Come on now. Don't be biased in the situation again. If you want to bring up the word bitch, what about the word nigga?
There's not too many white people actually use it as nigga. They use it as nigger.
That's true. But again, what if you and this person outside of our culture is mainly around our culture, and why get mad at him or her or whatever saying the word nigga when that's all they know is our culture? You know.
If they know our culture, then they know the terms of that word.
But they got passes with the environment they were living in. You know.
Well, the good thing about our culture is, you know, you can't do the same stuff you do in your hood in somebody else's.
But I'm saying you got to give the all see all, because they got used to it in their environment, and they come out and they say the word nigga. Why you getting mad?
Because you know you can't do that everywhere.
And also too, as far as the bitch, again, the nigga term. Let's take outside cultures out the thing. Go back to the word nigga.
Nigga or nigger?
Nigga. I know, and we ain't doing hard R's up in here. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn. No R's, ER's up in here.
Because even black folks, they don't like niggers, but they messes with they niggas.
At the end of the day, you wanted to give the terms about why females are cool with the bitch and versus men calling them a bitch.
True.
Okay, for the men, the word nigga. Okay, you know the difference between that's my nigga when you amongst your homie. And then you got this outside person coming out, nigga, who the fuck you think you know, you're going to feel some sort of way because of how they strongly come to you.
I'm not strongly, and this is just me, I'm not feeling any kind of way, them strongly coming to me saying the word. It's the tone. I'm not worried about the word.
That's what I'm trying to tell you with the word bitch.
I've heard women say, who you calling a bitch? So they are tripping off the word, not the tone in those scenarios.
Come on now. It's the tone that's involved with the words. If men come out and say, bitch, you know he coming out aggressive with the word, bitch. He's not saying it in an enduring way. That word, bitch, is not coming out his mouth enduring.
Okay.
Okay? Let's be frank. Let's be real. Let's be 1,000.
But it's still the word, because sometimes they are coming off. And it ain't like that.
You gotta, give me an enduring bitch.
So, an enduring bitch is, shit, that bitch be dressing right there. That my bitch be dressing right there.
Okay, exactly.
But then sometimes they still be like,
you said, that bitch and my bitch be dressing. That's your bitch.
or, see that bitch over there? She cold-blooded, boy.
Okay. That's with your boys. But do you come to her and be like, bitch, you are cold-blooded? Do you say it like that?
Like, you's a bad bitch.
Okay, you changed it up. And you made it more enduring instead of the hardcore bitch. You know.
Woo, bitch, you bad. I can't believe you said something.
I'm going to be calling you bitch. For real, bitch. You see me,
You're supposed to call me one back.
Well, hey, you will call me a bitch, but I can't call you bitch. Bitch, you show right. But you wanted me to, but I'm fun like that. Again, at the end of the day, I respect nobody. You got some men don't want to be called nigga. You know, you got some women that don't want to call bitch, and they have every right to feel that.
Absolutely.
But it's the level of how you bring it. That's all I'm saying. If you coming at me like, bitch, who the fuck you? And just like you said, ooh, you's a bad bitch. I'll be like, oh, I know.
Like, but I would think you would be like, why can't I just be a bad chick? Like, why I got to be a bad bitch?
Again, at the level of the age I am, I've dealt with different types of cultures, different types of situations, different types of scenarios. Again, the only way you can really get on that flavor with me if I know you for quite some time. I know your personality. I'm no stranger on the street. Well, I take that back because I've had a situation where I was like, you know, oh, you a bad bitch. I like that bitch. And I be like, bitch. It's all according to your tone and your flavor and how you bring it. And now if you just, because I had a situation where, this guy in my teen years, I was in Philadelphia for the first time, and we was walking down the downtown area, and so he offered me a flower, and I just said politely, no thank you, because I didn't know him. I'm young, I'm with my auntie. I was like, no thank you. Well, fuck you, bitch. See where that goes all the way to somewhere else?
So would you have been as upset if he just said, fuck you? Or would you have been, or it was more upset because he said, fuck you, bitch?
No, it's the simple fuck you and the fucking bitch.
And the bitch makes a difference.
And the extra spice and flavor to it.
That's all I'm saying.
Even if he said fuck you, I'm still looking at him crazy because at the end of the day, I'm looking at this. I'll politely turn you down. Why you have to be so aggressive for the simple fact I don't know you, number one, and I said thank you for the gesture, but at the end of the day, but no thank you. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just said
I would have said you been okay, fuck you. No. You've been like, oh okay.
No.
But when you say fuck you, bitch,
no.
who you calling the bitch? bitch.
No.
You ain't acknowledged the fact that you said,
no,
fuck you.
It's the fuck you for me.
The bitch.
It's the fuck you and the bitch. This is me. I'm talking about me.
That's you. I would love for the Straight For You friends and fans, please speak on that part on what it is. Is it the tone or is it the word?
It's both for me.
Both
the tone in the words, because at the end of the day,
which more? No, which more? If you gotta choose, which is worse? Because that's what we doing, verbal or physical. So which is worse, the tone or the word?
Tone.
Tone for you.
Because he could have been like low key, like fuck you, and
if his tone was fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, but he came hella
so
aggressive.
It's the aggressive tone.
He was like, fuck you, bitch. It's not
the word.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people, it might actually be the word. No matter how the tone is, it's actually the word when it's used in the circumstances.
Because if he used the tone in a lower tone and I barely hear him, then I'm like, because people say shit to you all the time. Like, I've heard a situation where fuck you or this nigga. Long as you don't come, I'm at the level. Long as you don't come in my face.
Right.
Long as you, that's where I am. Maybe in my younger years, it'd be something totally different. My perspective would be totally different if I was back in my early 20s and so forth and so on. But with the level I am right now, long as you don't fucking put your hands on me, I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
You know, I address what you say, and if you still want to get fugazi with me, that's on a whole different level. But I'm not going to be looking like two stupid people arguing because nobody knows who really started it.
Because that's why I had a similar situation that I was upset with a friend that they engaged with the guy after that was said. Now, the guy came up and wanted some change or whatever, asked her did she have any change, any money or something like that she could give. She gave it to him, and he was like, dang, that's all you got? And she was like, well, you can give me my money back or whatever if that ain't good enough. She could have, I felt at that point, you could have politely said, yeah, that's all I got, I'm sorry. If that's not,
that's
you know,
that's
but instead, you spicing it, and the situation could have went totally wrong, because it's like, well, you can give me my money back, and he like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. And
stuck up bitch or whatever like that.
All types of horror, bitch,
right.
Stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all about the person's actions. Just like I told you about my interaction with the guy with the flower. Even though I turned him down nicely and he called and said, fuck you, bitch, I could have been back and said, nigga, who the fuck you talking to?
And then it turns differently, you know.
Instead, I kept it walking. Then my auntie was like, don't face him. You know, this is kind of what goes on in the Philadelphia area. But it's all according to what the person wants to do next with their reaction.
Exactly. But we also got to think our reaction to that could take us to a situation we don't want to be in. Because that action, now if that dude actually had something on him, because I was trying to get her, we later talked about this situation and squashed the beef that we had about it with each other. Because I'm thinking, we don't know this guy. This guy's walked up, we're outside, we don't know what he's got. It could be a rob, you know. And you have now enticed him, especially with the mental health crisis of what's going on. Now you've actually antagonized this person who could have mental health issues to cause you harm.
That's why I said,
and even if you got something to protect yourself, you don't want to now be locked up in the case where now you got to judge off, hey, I had to kill this dude because I was mouthing back off.
That's why I said what I said. You know, there's levels to the shit and maturity to the shit. You both can't be on defense mode. Somebody got to be on offense. Okay,
but you gotta play defense nowadays.
You have to judge the situation, though.
I agree.
I agree. You just taught her to judge the situation.
That's what I want.
If she was on defense and he was on defense, it's gonna be ugly. But just like I could have took that scenario, I could have took that scenario and being all in his face like, nigga, who the fuck you thinking, blah, 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 blah. And then we both looking crazy. And he could have up and popped in
and shot at everybody. Because I was thinking, I'm like, damn, you could have put all of us in jeopardy. We out here, we ain't got no weapons and we don't know what you got.
I said what I said as far as tone versus words. And sometimes even with the harsh tone, you still gotta walk past that. That's a level of maturity for your sake and safety.
And other people's safety.
Yes,
too.
You know, because
Sometimes women be wanting us to step up on the guy who talk crazy or disrespectful or something like that.
I need a logical person in my life, because at the end of the day, I have to control some of my closest or some of my friends with their situation. Yeah. Because they always want to pop off, and I'm like,
popping off for what?
You might have got pushed, maybe you got knocked down. If the person apologized, why you still escalating the situation?
Exactly.
Why you still want to put other people in the situation of your escalation, and then we all as a collective group doing something that could land us all in jail, or if not, like you said, killed. So all because of some simple misunderstanding.
And you'll be looking silly because they shot all of us. You live, but we died, and you basically put us in jail.
I'm living because I'm thinking.
There we go.
Using critical thinking, y'all. But we got to get into.
We got to get the next person.
Yes, come on now. We deep into our game.
Telling you,
we got to get the female perspective. We can't leave her out. Come on now.
Come on, the female perspective. Let's see what she got.
Our female perspective for today is Miss Sonia.
Red Sonia. Despacito.
So Miss Sonia said verbal abuse is worse.
What I say, y'all?
Most can recover from a physical attack, but verbal degradation stays with you mentally forever.
Physical. Okay, so you gotta go ahead because I was going to get something.
Yes, you better get popping and started. Sonia was like you got popping. But anyway, Sonia said verbal abuse is worse. Most can recover from physical attack, but verbal degradation stays with you mentally forever. So it seems like what I tapped in earlier, it seemed like the men kind of lean more towards the physical, and the females lean more towards the verbal.
Before you give Sonia her defense, notice how she say most can recover from physical.
Yes.
It depends on the physical, and most people can't recover from that. A physical injury, even like say when somebody breaks their toe or their finger, sometimes you don't fully recover from that. When it rains or something like that, you feel the pain, joints and stuff like that. So physical,
forever memory.
Yeah. Now mental. Yeah, you always gonna remember it, but you can get to a point where it doesn't affect you.
And that's
fully.
Yeah, and that's not for everybody. That's why she probably used the word most. Or some. The best word is some.
Some.
Because most means it's a upper
tier. Yeah. And that ain't true.
So our conversation is mostly built on the some.
Yes.
Because again, we are not experiencing living the lives, and we don't know the statistics of what's out there, but other than what we hear and see with our own eyes. So at the end of the day, you got people, to be honest, we just focusing on the United States. You got other people in different countries going through worse, and if not, barely making it with situations.
Exactly.
So again, we are trying to tap into not just local but international and things of that nature. Our conversation is made for any and everybody.
And don't have the means to recover. Don't have the luxury of insurance, medical insurance, to go get checked out and seen suffering broken ribs or something like that, and don't have the luxury to go to a hospital to fully recover.
Yes.
So, and that's all from, physical abuse.
Yes.
But mental wise, you ain't going to the hospital over there.
Yeah. So.
So Sonia, I understand. I understand women's part on that.
You definitely got to give your point of view and your perspective. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying and how you presented it. It's just a simple fact. That's what we're not going against any of our perspectives. We're just giving our ideas of what you're saying. Because I want our people to be feeling fearful. They got to go against everything we say.
Not going against it.
We chime in on what you're saying.
And again, to mellow me out, verbal is bad as well too. I will say it's right up there. It's not a far tier of physical is here and verbal is way down there. They're running about neck and neck.
Because again, think about the children. I go back because that's me dealing with kids.
Yeah.
Because think about it, a child that doesn't really get physical at all, just mentally torn down. You are this. You ain't nothing but a this, that, and the other. You'll never achieve your goals in life. You just dirty. Just a filth of the filth. Just imagine receiving
filthy little fucker.
Yeah, imagine you receiving that all your life, and by the time you reach a certain point in life that you get to venture out and receive something more than what you experienced, it's kind of tough. Your self-esteem is already low. You're already feeling like you're not worthy to be a part of anything. You know, when you get in a group setting, you the oddball of the situation because you don't know how to receive compliments and love and things of that nature because you never received it. So that's the aspects of when I say verbal, I'm looking more so of the heavy mental torments of it all. And then
which could lead to physical.
Yes.
Think about how many kids or whatever were given that mental abuse and, you know, they got bigger, you know, and finally like, I ain't finna take this no more.
They joined special authorities and careers.
And now they have the ability to beat and physically abuse folks, and they're suffering from that mental part of it, but they're giving out physical now.
Yeah, that's why I say certain people with certain positions need to get some physical evaluation to make sure they are capable of doing certain things, especially when you in a area where you are for the community, the people.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like, you know, in my job, I have to become something else.
Yeah,
and it's hard sometimes to, you know, wind down from that when you're off the clock. Mm-hmm. So you need to make sure you have those extracurricular hobbies and things that you need to do, and those people who kind of mellow you out and ground you and stuff like that, so that you don't become what you're trying to keep from protecting.
Yeah,
you know,
because in my field, you know, due to the households that I have been in, I've seen it firsthand how children, and if not, their family members are treated.
Yeah.
And it's tough because you want to do something, but you can't quite do nothing unless you destroy the whole family environment.
You gotta kill everything.
Yeah. And how many times you gotta kill everything? You can't be everything for everybody in this world.
Yeah.
At the most, we are an example of you can find better solutions or figure out a better solution or get some help, whether it be professionally or, you know, within your community or with your friends. Mm-hmm. And for the people that are seeing it, say something, at least to that victim or whatever, just to say at least you said something versus nothing at all. Yeah. And then when something happens to them, whether they stayed on their own accord or had a situation, at least your spirit is cleansed enough to say, well, I did say something.
Mm-hmm.
You know. With that being said, we got to go ahead.
Keep going, but we can't be here with y'all all day.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, let's go ahead and give this Straight For You positive quote where we give each and every episode a positive quote.
Mm-hmm. Okay?
This one is a little lengthy compared to some of them. This says, when people make you feel unwanted, don't leave to make them feel sad or guilty. They won't. Leave because you no longer have a reason to stay. Love is worth fighting for, but you can't be the only one fighting. Realize what you gave them was more than what they were willing to give you. Again, when people make you feel unwanted, don't leave to make them feel sad or guilty. They won't. Leave because you no longer have a reason to stay. Love is worth fighting for, but you can't be the only one fighting. Realize what you gave them was more than they were willing to give you.
And to touch on that one part, love is worth fighting for, but it say you can't be the only one fighting. You can't be the one losing the fight all the time either. Yes, you know, you can't be suffering from the injuries of fighting.
Yes.
So hit the road. Get out of there. Leave with that.
Yeah.
Live
Yes.
To maybe fight for love another day.
And that's, like I said, the part when you get the mental help. Mm-hmm. If you can't do it by yourself, because you get the professional help to help you guide. Because again, some people don't understand because they never were taught.
That too.
So they are truly lost. And you can't get mad at them like, why you staying in this? Why you dealing with that? Because again, that's what they experience majority of their life, and until they finally reach the idea of the light.
But you gotta realize at some point that's wrong, you know.
And that's facts.
It's a lot of stuff that we experienced when we were younger, and you know, we realized it's wrong. A lot of stuff we were taught that we didn't pick up. You know, that we didn't take on and say that, you know, this is something that we're going to, you know, do in our lifetime and everything like that. It's some things you pick up, some things you don't. But the things that you do pick up, know that they're the things that are good for you and not they're hurting somebody else or hindering you in life.
It's definitely life lessons, learning life lessons. But for the ones that don't, you can't get heavy on them because, again, that's how cults are made. They don't know exactly what's right and what's wrong. And that's a mental, something within the mental. You know, and like you said, some life experiences has to happen in order to have lessons. So.
I deal with a little bit of mental health. And well, I don't say a little bit. I deal with a lot of mental health. And a lot of them are not far off. Now, they're, like you say, they're different stages of mental health.
Yeah.
And for the IDD, they really don't have any concept of what's going on. But the others are behavioral, mental health, and things like that. They know a little bit what's right and wrong.
You know, because again, straight for you, got to tap in the lowest of the low and the highest of the high. So that's all I'm saying.
The ones like that, they don't even, to tell you the truth, have no business being in a relationship for the IDD if you don't know right and wrong and stuff like that.
They end up getting them because you got the people that see it and use it to their advantage. But
correct. There you go.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
We rolling today. We rolling.
Because this ain't no 2 hour right here.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we appreciate y'all, and also to tell them where they can find you.
You know, Ruthless BK. You know, the hard hitter quit. Never mind. The slap the taste out your mouth to get your attention.
Yeah.
No, ruthlessbk@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'm also the host of Skate Talk, where we talk skate and everything on a national and local level with skating.
Wow.
Check it out. Along with my co-hosts Superman and GL. Shout them out.
Yes.
My guys.
Yes.
Just Us League. Skate Talk.
Make sure y'all copy that out, because it's gonna be in the description box. Everything you hear, I always put in the description box. That way you can just click on the link and keep it pushing.
Yes.
But and also too, any what?
Oh no. Then now, okay. what can they do to see more of your lovely face?
You know, here, of course, you know, you
Always.
can find us. And also, too, you can find Instagram, TikTok on the Ms_Black Diamond. That's Ms. MZ_Black Diamond.
Ms.
Yeah, it's Ms. And also, too, I'm going to add some more platforms on there. Whether I mention it right now, you'll see it in the description box. So make sure y'all cop that. And thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I know we went longer than what is expected, but it gets pretty good.
Sometimes it get good, you know. Hey, you might not just be able to do that 15 minutes no more, right? Hey. Sometimes, some days, right amount of liquor, you go to 17.
That's the episode that we talked about, the 15-minute man. But anyway, I don't want a 15-minute man.
Well, that's what you're going to get.
At the end of the day, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us in our journey. And we'll see you next time. Peace.